That was cool.
That was awesome.
Was that a new song? Where'd that come from?
That was just the 30-second mark. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're back. Another installation of the Hang On to Your Shorts podcast.
Installation?
Yes, this is Hiram.
Okay.
CJ, hello. I'm way back here. I like it back here.
I'm some guy named Rob who they keep bringing me back here. I don't know why that happens, but hi, how are you?
Idea either.
By the way, we'll have a lot of information, I would think, about the festival for 2021 coming up, I hope.
Yes, sir.
Very
yes,
good.
sir. And we have Ming on the board, Ming, the legendary Ming Chen.
What's up, everybody?
And you know, a little bit of background. We've had an abbreviated submission run this year as a result of coronavirus. Our festival was delayed by almost half a year.
Mhm.
So it has since been half the time to submit films.
Right.
But the quality of the films has not been affected in any way. We've had a bunch of amazing films. And yeah, that was a little loud. Including a film that kind of blew our socks off called Fathers and Sons. And when I looked up the information of Fathers and Sons, it just so happened that the actor, one of the actors, Michael Broderick, who I believe is also the producer, is a New Jersey guy.
Nice find.
He's a local guy. And not only
our
that,
Jersey people.
he's really freaking nice, which we really appreciate.
It always helps. When you get somebody nice, he's from Jersey. And on top of that, I want to thank you for this. I think it was Chris Jordan from the Asbury Park Press who did a really nice write-up.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are blessed to have him all the way from the West Coast today. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Mr. Michael Broderick.
There he is.
Hey, gentlemen. How you doing?
Very good, Michael. Thanks for coming on with us.
Oh, it's great to be here, man. Thanks for asking.
This is a guy who, when you look at his career, Michael, would you say you kind of got a late start into acting in a sense because of your military background?
Well, not because of my military background, but I only served for 4 years back at the tail end of the Cold War.
Mhm.
But I finished up in '90, and I moved to New York to be an actor, but ended up playing in a punk band for 10 years. So that was really the sidetrack there. And then
Anybody we know?
no, it was a little outfit called Radio Zero. We used to play the Lower East Side, you know, CBGB and all that stuff.
Believe me, as somebody who worked modern rock in the 90s at 106.3 WHDG on the Jersey Shore, believe me, very much know CBGBs.
Oh, well, there you go. Well, you must know my guy, John Yarusi, then, if you were at
Oh,
106.3.
hell no, please. Johnny and I were actually hired right about the same time. And yeah, he's doing well with his, as I like to say, he's the king of pork roll now.
That's right.
Yes.
Oh,
Johnny's
Johnny
pork
yeah.
Rosenthal. Oh,
Yes. Yeah.
We used to hang out back in the day, back in like the high school days. He's a good dude.
Yeah, no, absolutely a great dude.
Small
That's
world.
a small world.
Small world, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm already thinking like, Michael, did our paths maybe cross at some point? We didn't even realize it.
Probably.
I'm thinking.
Brian,
So, yeah.
Ryan's there. We forgot Ryan.
Yeah.
Introduced. Did you had a question or
No,
something?
BK he did ask the question. I heard him.
Right? I heard the voice.
Okay, good.
Maybe I missed the question.
No, you answered it. What do we know the band?
Well,
You did answer.
Yeah, what band and if we knew it, and then that's how we got to talking about John Yarusi and stuff.
There you go.
No, I'm
Absolutely.
good.
It's awesome.
Good.
But
Well-
yeah, I didn't start my acting career until 2000. Well, I moved to Los Angeles in 2004. So I was in my mid to late 30s at that point. So yeah, I did get a late start.
What brought that about? I kind of read about it, but I'd like to hear from you.
You know, after I left my band and I wasn't quite sure what I was going to do, my wife suggested I try out voiceover. So I started getting into voiceover, and you know, and it's a lot of fun. It's fine. Good work when you can get it. But when 9/11 went down, I was living down in the West Village, and so you know, obviously it was a big deal, and Band of Brothers was playing on HBO at the time, and I became really kind of engrossed in it. You know, it had just started. I think the first episode was on the Sunday night before 9/11, and then 9/11 happened, and I took some comfort from that series. I knew we were going to be getting into something major. And being a veteran, military veteran myself, it just kind of made me feel a little better. And so a couple of years went by, and I was, living in New York and doing the voiceover thing. And then I heard they were going to be doing the Pacific on HBO. The same folks who did Band of Brothers. And I said to myself, I got to go get in this. I was so impressed with Band of Brothers, and it just drove home the fact that not only quality stuff still comes out of Hollywood, but important stuff, important art. Art is supposed to move you, whether it's a film, a piece of music, a sculpture, a painting, whatever it is, a novel.
Yeah.
And that did it for me. So when I heard they were going to do the Pacific, I knew I wanted to be a part of it. And so we had just bought an apartment on West 10th and Bleecker, and my son was about a year old. And I told my wife I wanted her to quit her job so we could move to Los Angeles. I could go try to be an actor.
Wow.
Bit of a culture shock going from the village to suddenly LA.
Yeah, it's funny. We were out, my wife's in advertising, and we were out in Los Angeles on her business about a year earlier. And she's like, I could never live out here. A year later, I was asking her to move out there.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. We're here with Michael Broderick, part of the Hang On to Your Shorts podcast. There was an early break for you. Talk about how you got involved with 24. You were a military advisor on that show?
Well, I worked for a military advisory company.
Okay.
Basically, we did special ability stuff and things like that. And, they bring us onto shows where there had to be like say a SWAT team going into a room or something, because you can't really train extras how to do that stuff, So you bring in military veterans and stuff like that. We all worked for this company that provided this service. We'd go in and make it look real,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I was working for that company, and we were on 24 for a while, but it was my first episode working with this company, and we were basically just background. We were like military attaché or whatever, and we were there to keep the other background actors like in line as far as military protocol. Like see somebody with their hands in their pockets, be like, dude, get your hands out of your pockets. It wouldn't happen. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just to keep the realism, at that level, where 24 was. Mm-hmm. So somebody got fired because I don't even remember the reason, but let's just say this one actor who was playing somebody who's briefing the Joint Chiefs of Staff got fired. And they director came out and said, hey, who's SAG? Screen Actors Guild. And I was already SAG because my voiceover work. Mm-hmm. So a bunch of us held up our hands, and he's like, okay, you grabbed like a dozen of us. And they started taking us into a room one by one, just to kind of do a cold read, Yeah. And so I went in, I read, I came out, a couple more people went, they finished all the reads. Director comes out, he's like, thanks everybody. Michael, come with me.
Oh.
They put me on camera, and that was my first role. So, I was already training and everything. As soon as I came out to Los Angeles, I got into acting classes and was hitting that really hard. So I was ready. They say luck is opportunity meets preparedness. So I was prepared. Yes. And the opportunity happened, and I was able to crush that quick read, and lucked out, got the job.
I wish I could have been there when you told your wife.
I'll tell you what, it's funny. I on the way home, I bought a bottle of champagne, and I showed up at the house, and I had these. She said, "What's that for?" And I said, you know what this is? And there's these little mini script they give you on set,
right.
Sides. I said, these are called sides. I said, you know who gets sides? She says, who? I said, people with lines.
Yeah. It's always a side. Yeah.
So, gosh. That was my first job. And then, obviously, or not obviously, but once you get a role, nobody really knows how you got it. They just know that somebody trusted you with a lot of money,
Yes, that's true.
They're burning money on these shows, as far as time, they don't want to sit around and wait. Well, somebody trusted you with a role and you did it. And now it's on my resume. And then all of a sudden I could get auditions, and I started getting auditions and started picking up roles on like Jericho and Justified and things like that.
Absolutely. Especially, with your background and experience. I was just watching City Island the other day with Andy Garcia.
Right.
And he was a prison guard and he wanted to be an actor in the movie. And they're like, yeah, whatever.
That's an interesting comparable here.
But
that really is.
He auditioned for a role in the Scorsese film in the movie to be a prison guard.
Right.
So they brought him in. And they're like, just be like, he was being an actor, and they were like, no, like, be you, and it was him, and they were all like blown away, and they hired him, and he became a famous actor, and that was the movie. So
I've never seen that. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, Michael, definitely worth checking out.
But that's kind of like that really same cool story.
Yeah, very
happen.
similar.
I know.
Very good point.
I did a lot of extra work, and you do it.
Yes.
I work with. I have a lot of people in my family that are police officers, so I had the police outfit, and there was always one cop that was a cop for 30 years who was retired to telling you do this, you do this, you do this. And I'd follow that cop and I'd be an extra. And then there's that real cop running around with the gun and doing everything. So like, I was just talking to a guy from the Blacklist and I was like, yeah, I did a show. I did an episode of Blacklist. He's like, oh yeah, you were one of the cops. Yeah, I was running around. I was like, yeah, I wasn't a real cop. He's like, oh, I thought you were a real cop. No, I was following the real cops doing what they were doing. So I got hired as a cop all the time.
There you go. It's good. It's, like if you can get it, it's great work.
Michael, you've done your share. I mean, I won't say typecasting because again, when you get the opportunities, you take them, you run with them. But there has been an interesting pattern. It's like you play the cop, you play the military guy, you play the security guy. But at least it's all been opportunities that built you up to
That's
get
his
to
type.
Yeah,
that's his type.
But the good thing about it is it led to a certain point. Ming, throw up the photo for us for 1 second because this was his, I would say, big time moment. Being on True Detectives, obviously at HBO, had to be like, oh my God. Look what's happened.
Look at it's John Bowen. Look at him. What a badass.
Yeah.
That's his character on the show. And that was a good season, by the way, too. I mean, look, it's a tremendous show when they did the revolving cast. But, I mean, there you are. And what's your first take when you're getting on the set and kind of going, I'm in probably one of the most critically acclaimed shows on HBO right now. This doesn't suck.
Yeah, it was huge, man. It was definitely the next step for me as far as, like I had, had a slew of co-star roles and then got a few guest star roles. And the next step was, recurring character. And so when, I'll tell you, when I got the audition for True Detective, I was just really pleasantly surprised because, I mean, that's just, HBO, they do such great work and to have even just to get in the room and take a swing at that pinata was exciting. And then when I heard I got it, man, I was just over the moon. But I'll tell you, being on set was something. I shoot the vast majority of the things I've been in. I've shot here in LA, and that was we shot that in Arkansas. So they'd fly me back and forth,
Mm-hmm.
And that first day on set, where I was really working, with Mahershala Ali, Academy Award winner, and Steven Dorff, who's just fantastic.
Oh my God!
It was a scene we're shooting in the bullpen. I've told this story before, but I'll share it with the audience. We're shooting the scene in the bullpen where we're going over the evidence and I have this kind of back and forth with Mahershala where because I'm the FBI guy, I do things a little bit differently. He's the local cop, So we kind of butt heads a little bit, and we shoot it one or two times, and then they're resetting the cameras, and I'm sitting there across from him, and I'm like, and I flashed back to the moment where I was sitting across from my wife, where I sat her down at the kitchen table to say, hey, I want you to move our family across the country, quit your job, and go let me try to be an actor in Los Angeles, and how frightening that was for me. Not in a I was just so afraid that she'd say no, especially after she said that she would never live in Los Angeles. And I flashed back to that in that moment where I'm sitting across from an Academy Award winner waiting for Nick Pizzolatto to say action. And I was just like, I did it. I'm here. This is it, man. I'm doing it, And it was really validating, man. It just made me, it let me know that everything I'd done up to that point was going in the right direction.
It almost sounds like not only mission accomplished, but it's sort of like life-changing in the sense that, you know what, there's no turning back from here. We've made it to this point. Now we got to go as far as we can possibly go.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I just want to keep improving my game and doing bigger and bigger things. But there was a lot of, I mean, if you look at, my IMDb or whatever, there's a lot of, 1 and 2 line things. And then, a couple of guest stars all leading up to that moment.
Sure.
It's been a lot of work. I continue to train. So yeah, it was validating.
Yeah. So from that point, what got you into producing?
COVID. No.
Thank you. Good night.
Yeah. I was just wondering about the transition. Was that the next step?
No, it was a very targeted project, Fathers and Sons. Originally it wasn't even supposed to be public. I got together with some friends to create that because I heard that, I don't know if you're familiar with the book, The Terminal List. Is a New York Times bestseller by retired Navy SEAL sniper Jack Carr. It's kind of in the Vince Flynn, mold of espionage kind of action military style stuff. Tom Clancy, maybe. Great book. I got to meet Jack last year, and just a great guy. We have some mutual friends. And I had heard that Chris Pratt's company, Indivisible Productions, his new production company, had picked up the rights to Terminal List, and they're doing a series for Amazon starring Chris Pratt in the title role, or not the title role, in the main role, and Antoine Fuqua directing. And I was like, oh my God, I love Chris Pratt, right. Antoine Fuqua. I mean, come on, man. Training Day, Magnificent Seven. Absolutely. Forget it. It's fantastic. And then I read an article where they said they wanted to, because Chris is a big supporter of the military, and he's also wants to be as real as possible. They want to incorporate as many military veterans in front of and behind the camera that they can. I was like, this is my opportunity, Yeah. So basically, Fathers and Sons is basically an unsolicited audition piece for the Terminal List.
Oh yeah!
Wow.
So I got my friends and my fellow veterans who are in the industry together, and out of everyone on the cast and crew, 6 of us are military veterans. Wow. I play Tom. My friend Tim Abel is a former Army Ranger. He plays Dell. The director, Ryan Curtis, is a veteran. The writer, Vernon Mortensen, is a veteran. The sound mixer was a veteran, Marine veteran. And the music supervisor, also a veteran. So basically, I got them together, and I said, look, let's show them what we can do. And so I when it was done, I was very happy with it. But like I said, it wasn't supposed to be public. It had different music and stuff, like music we didn't have the rights to, So
it's always a little slippery slope there when you kind of go, wait a minute, we don't have the rights to this yet. Should we even be putting it out? Wait a minute.
Well, like I said, we weren't gonna put it out. I just wanted to get it to Indivisible.
Sure,
exactly. Yeah.
Put that on. Yeah.
And so we sent it to Jack Carr, the author, and I sent it to him. I said, hey, man, I got some friends who are going to forward this to Indivisible for me, but I wanted you to get eyes on it. And he was just like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, can I put it on my Instagram? I'm like, yeah, okay. So he put it on his Instagram. It got 30,000 views in the first day.
Hello.
And just all these just tremendous comments. Everybody really loved it. And so I said, you know what? I started talking with my team, and I said, why don't we clean this up? We'll get the rights to we'll get some music, and we'll start putting it through some film festivals and stuff. So that's what we did. I spent a little more money on a sound editor who did a tremendous job on it. Sounds great. Looks great. And yeah, I'm just really proud of it, man. I chose the right people to get this done, and it's gone well beyond where I thought it would, as far as just sending on to Indivisible. So
that is awesome.
Yeah. I talk a lot. Sorry about that.
No. Why?
Feel free to jump in anytime.
How did you find out about the Hang On to Your Shorts Film Festival?
Well, dude, I don't have any experience in the film festival world. This is my first time around. I'm a first time producer. Yeah. So I got on Film Freeway, and with respect, I immediately went for the GI Film Festival because that's it's all about veterans and things like that. Right. But then I said, what are they doing in Jersey? Because I said, I could imagine, if I could imagine going. I look for any excuse to get back home and see some old friends. I said, if I make it, maybe I'll go for the event. And that's how I found you guys, and the rest is history, man. I submitted, and I don't know. I'm waiting on selection. We'll see.
Right.
Right? No,
Yeah,
That's a hint.
I saw it.
Oh, come on,
Didn't the date just close? So we gotta go through all that, right?
Yes. Funny. Yeah. The submissions ended just yesterday, so we have about a month of crazy work to do.
Oh yeah, that'll be a weekend of just drinking and watching film, pretty much.
In which order?
Yeah, well,
Well, speaking of New Jersey, when was the last time you were here?
I got back last. I was going to say last, but no, COVID. A year ago, October. Okay. Last year's just like a blur, isn't it? It's like it didn't even happen.
Yeah, no, Michael, exactly.
Happened, right?
Yeah.
It's just gone.
It was the longest 3 years of our life. It was only a year. See, that's how long it was.
That's right.
So many people we haven't seen.
I know.
October of 2019, I took my family back for a visit. My old teacher at Manasquan High School, Lee Weisert, who still runs the drama department there, had asked if I would come and speak to his kids.
Very nice.
And sadly, I hadn't gotten back in several years before that. We've been out here in Los Angeles since 2004. And for a long time, my son didn't fly. But now he does. And so now we're open to traveling outside of where we can drive.
It's awesome. What are some of your favorite places at the shore?
Squan Tavern.
Good choice.
Pete and Elders.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
See, you're not going to get that pizza out west. You know that. You're not going to get anything like Pete and Elders out west.
I got a pizza oven in my backyard, bro, because we couldn't find good pizza out here.
Oh,
boy.
The best pizza out there, right?
Yeah. Okay, I can honestly say, Michael, I'm jealous, and you suck. But that's
I like to visit LA, and I went before COVID for real quick because I'm a teacher, and we got like a film festival out there. My students got into a film festival last summer, and of course it was online, but we was going to play at the Chinese Theater. So we were all excited, and then of course COVID happened, so we didn't get a chance to go. But I'm itching at that point. Like, when can we go back to LA? How is it in LA right now with COVID?
We're still on. Like, they want everybody to stay home, and you gotta, wear masks and blah 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 and whatever. That's cool, I guess. Staying home ain't so cool.
Yeah.
They're just starting to kind of open things back up. So I think, I don't want to get in the whole thing, but like, you can only tuck people away for so long, you know what I'm saying, before they start to go a little crazy.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I think that's something that, Michael, you make a great point. I think that's something that gets lost in this. We're all trying to be safe, but we got to remember mental health in the middle of all this as well.
Absolutely, and thankfully, my wife and I, we've been together. It'll be 21 years in May. We've been married 21 years in May. And we have a great relationship. She works from home now. So it's like, I love having her home. As a matter of fact, she may never go back, her company may never go back to the regular way it used to be.
Wow.
So that's awesome. And we have enough space where if we need it, go down the way, go over there. So yeah, man, it's all good. Getting back to business. We had some openings and closings. I was able to work on a few other things since, post COVID, but then, they had a spike in cases, so they shut down again. But, it's here and there. Catch as catch can.
So I know in New York, they are in production. It's really crazy. I heard the whole process, what they're going through right now on the New York TV shows. Yes. But they are in production and they are filming. Are they doing that in LA now?
Yeah, I think they're currently in production. Yep. Matter of fact, some of the loosest restrictions were on Hollywood Productions, which is it's at one point odd, but at the same time understandable, because this entire town revolves around that. I worked on a film. We shot a film in 6 days. I worked on a series which will eventually be streaming, but so I've had some work, but again, it's it's not at the same level that it was before COVID yet.
Yeah.
Right.
So
we get ready to wrap up. There's two things I want to do because we did mention the fact that Michael Start was actually at CBGB's playing in a punk band. I got to ask the music question. I'm a music guy. I've been in radio on and off for 25 years. Give me 3 of your punk bands that you have to have in your music collection.
Well, I played in a punk band, but I was, I'm like a Clash guy. Ramones were like my introduction to punk back when, in the early days of HBO and Showtime. And I watched Rock and Roll High School, and I was just like, wow, it's the greatest thing ever. It had to be like 1979 or something.
That's about
and then I kind of like the Clash, and then I'd say probably Rancid. Although they were kind of like the Sha Na Na of punk.
I have never heard that. That's a good one.
Wow.
Well, I say that because, we put out an EP years ago, like back when I was playing during my playing days. We put out an EP, and we got this awesome review in Maximum Rock and Roll, right?
Right.
The little scene, And then the guy who wrote the article came out to see us, and he wrote another article like, yeah, we were great, but it's like, we don't look punk and blah, blah, blah. Because we're like, I don't know, because we didn't have like spikes and mohawks and all this stuff, and he mentioned Rancid in the article, and I said to my boys, I was just like, yeah, freaking Sha Na Na of punk. No, look, I liked them, respect, but that's all. I was just biting back after being insulted.
No, but the funny thing is that I think that's putting in a sense a bad spin on it, because punk takes on so many different levels. I mean, for every Rancid there's an Offspring, for every Offspring there's a Jersey band like Shades Apart who do not dress punk, who don't look punk, but they are. I think it's Michael, would you agree? It's more of an attitude than it is a look.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's about the music, and we were a good band. We just couldn't stay together after so long.
Yeah.
Do you jam a lot in LA, like before COVID, jam with people and stuff? Or?
Yeah. I used to host there's an organization I belonged to for several years out here called Veterans in Media and Entertainment. And I used to host an open mic at Molly Malone's out here. And, you just get up, play some songs or whatever. I'll go up to a buddy of mine, his place in Castaic, and we'll record some stuff every once in a while. So I still play. I mean, I play every day, but pretty much just by myself.
Michael, since you brought it up, Veterans in Media and Entertainment, what kind of work do they do? I mean, obviously, just by their name, they're obviously assisting veterans and helping them possibly get a leg up in the industry.
Yeah, it's really, their mission is kind of, if you look at it from a kind of mile high thing, it's really to kind of close that gap that we talked about at the very top, where a lot of men and women have given up a large portion of their life in some cases, but certainly everybody gave some to the service of this country, where they could have been, out here making connections or working on their craft or networking or whatever. So VME tries to minimize that time and kind of compress that, help the new people avoid some early mistakes and kind of catch up to their peers who have been out here doing their thing while they were, slugging it out with the bad guys overseas.
Streamline the learning curve.
Exactly.
Yes.
Well put.
Website is vmeconnect.org. You can find out more about that. Just visit the website and you'll get all the information that Michael was just talking about and a lot more.
Awesome.
Brian, do you have any questions?
Well, I mean, I think he answered most all of them. I mean, the one question I guess that he answered just recently was the idea of how he came across us in sending short film out. Film Freeway was the key to that. That was cool. I've watched it a few times just to really kind of get the feel of it, and I really enjoyed the work, and thank you for sending us your baby and making it part of our festival's history. And just really appreciate that you've chosen us and hopefully we might take a look at it again and see what we can do about using you.
Well, I appreciate it. I mean,
I don't know if that was asking a question.
Look,
no.
I appreciate it, and
I apologize.
That's all right. I'm very proud of the piece. It was certainly an opportunity for me to show a little bit of a more vulnerable side. Many of the characters I play are kind of stern and very businesslike.
Yes.
So to bring Tom to life was special to me. And Vernon Mortensen just wrote a tremendous screenplay, and I had a lot of fun making it. So thank you for that.
Hopefully, when's the date of the festival now?
Okay, the 25th and the 26th of April.
Thank you.
We still have a lot of things. Yeah, we still have a lot of things to work out. But of course, we will be in contact with you, and obviously, keep you in the loop of what's going on with the Hang On to Your Shorts Film Festival. Yes,
No, it's my pleasure.
The focus today was on your baby, like Brian said, and your work. But I just want everyone to know that if they do a little bit of background research into you, you're very much a family man, a father and a husband, and your career is it's a group effort, family effort.
Absolutely. My wife's always been my biggest fan, fortunately, and she's my rock. She's just wonderful.
Fantastic. Yes. Michael Broderick, best of luck with everything. And I think you really proved that, hey, if you stick at it long enough and you keep believing in yourself, you can get there. And you're a great example of that. So thank you for that, my friend.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming.
I appreciate that. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Hopefully we get to see you soon.
Yeah,
back here in Jersey.
Yeah, that would be cool. That would be great. Take care.
All right. See you.
Bye-bye.
Michael Broderick here on Hang On to Your Shorts. Yes.
Wow.
Real quick, I want to go to Brian because
we lost him for a sec. Hold on.
No, we lost him for a second. We did?
No. He's there.
Oh, he's there.
Switching.
No. Yeah, he's there. He's there. I was making a point about mental health, and I forgot to. What are you cracking up? I say mental health, and you crack up.
No,
the man is insane. I swear.
No, I'm sorry. I was watching the screen.
Oh, jeez.
He saw his eye, and then it went black.
There you go.
There he is.
We are going to get him a light. We're going to get him a light.
It's either that or we cast him in Apocalypse Now, the redo. I mean,
you do look a little like Marlon Brando. You look a little like Marlon Brando.
I'm telling you, he's got Brando down. Take the glasses off. He's Brando.
Skinny version. I'm hoping
yeah. I'm talking Apocalypse Now, Brando. Yeah.
We're not talking the Matthew Broderick film, right?
The Freshman.
The Freshman.
Or later, what was the one with Val Kilmer? The Island of Dr. Moreau.
Oh my God, he was huge in that.
No, I'm talking like you look like Apocalypse Now.
Wait a minute. Did I just say that out loud?
Yeah.
And I didn't mean.
Yes,
okay. Well, he's dead, right?
He's gone.
Okay,
yes.
I'm all right.
No, but anyone else that feels sensitive about their weight,
I am sensitive about my weight. That's why I'm saying I can't believe I said that.
Moreau. You're more like Apocalypse Now. So there you go.
Oh, there we go. Look, I'm trying to keep up with Michael Chiklis. That's the problem. He's like, trying to get hulked here.
So you were asking Brian about
yes, I wanted to get
health.
back to a point because I mean Brian is somebody who is a therapist who when we were talking about mental health and how important it is during this time, I should have deferred to you on that because you know from firsthand experience how this has been playing the pandemic on not only how we're trying to stay safe and stay, physically and do all the things we're supposed to do, but the toll it's been taking up here with most of us.
Yeah. I think thank you for asking that question. I think what most people, the problem is it plays on people's fears of a lot of things, and not only the anxiety, staying in touch with, the World Health Organization or the CDC. You're hoping that, the first-rate information is what it is, but, keeping yourself, safe is the main thing, and everybody's level of safety is different. Along with everything, like getting on roller coasters or not, or going on a plane or not, or driving in your car or not. And I see all of that. I've seen people who, are triple masking it and still thinking, like they can't go out of the house. And then I've had people who, are, a little more cavalier about it and a little more relaxed. But at the end of the day, it's taken its toll in the sense that it's kind of just kind of driven people in. And anybody who, if you're an extrovert, this is a really difficult time because introverts, some of my clients, because of their anxiety, are introvert, and they're like, I can do this standing on my head. The pandemic can go on for another 10 years, and they would be fine because they isolate, they keep to themselves, and they go to whatever things they got to go to and come home. And then you've got the people who are a little more on the extroverted side, and those are the people, I think, who want places to open up and want to be places and do. That's where I think most of my clients are struggling. Understand what they have to do. Most of my clients aren't trying to run around the outside of this thing and pretend it doesn't exist. They're working within the guise of this that they have to work in, but yet it's still a struggle at times.
Sure.
So, safety is the key, and just trying to have fun as much as you can, when you can, how you can, and what that is for you. But yeah, I to answer that question, I probably went a little long. I apologize, but
No. I figured that, we had to bring that point about a little bit more because, like I said, I should have deferred to you on that. So I apologize. I was like, it was right there, and I'm like,
since you are in the medical field,
I waved
you
and
get
I
the
said,
shot.
yeah.
Does he get
What?
Can you get the shot?
That's a good question.
Can you get the shot now?
If I want to, I can. If I want to, I can like not jump the line, but if with my license, I'm allowed to if I want to because I'm in a first grouping. But I have another therapist who actually sees me as she's a client of mine, and she said she's going to wait a little bit. So I'm like, all right, you know what? When you're going to go, let me know, and maybe we'll have a session
teacher, I
while we're
can't wait.
online.
No, I can't wait. 2 weeks. I've got it.
Well, that's about to say. You guys in the education field. I mean, I would imagine you probably feel a lot better. Yeah.
Usually, I wouldn't care. Like I wait.
All right.
I'd wait. Right. But because today they brought more students in.
Right.
Now I'm very safe. I'm very far away. I do my thing, and I stay healthy.
But I can only imagine
they're bringing more in.
Right. But I can only imagine the toll that takes on you, just on a physical and emotional and a mental, as you're trying to take care of the kids, educate them, and at the same token, try to stay safe.
You know what?
It's a lot.
I have 6 classes of like 27 to 29 kids.
Right.
Yeah.
6.
Oh, shit.
And I know that they won't all be there at the same time this year, but I know
But
that
there's
there
a
has
lot.
been a lot of tension and a lot of parents want their children, understandably, because I'm a father, to have their kids at school.
Right.
Mhm.
It's so simple. If you want kids at school, vaccinate the teachers.
Yeah,
It just
absolutely.
makes sense.
It makes
You-
perfect
That's
sense.
logic.
And
I
you
would
know
think
what
that's
I
just
had
logic.
to do? And I'm a teacher. Thinking about this, I had to go on the internet.
Right.
Like every other day, there was a thing in Atlantic City,
Uh-huh.
and it was giving out 10,000.
Yeah.
And I was 30,000 on the list.
Atlantic
40,000 on the list.
Atlantic Care. Me
Care.
too.
I got in the other day, and I waited. I got in. It was like number 1,000. I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna get it.
Right.
And then I looked,
0.
and then it came out.
They ran out of shots.
No,
But
2 weeks from now, I got it.
okay.
There was 5 left 2 weeks from now, and I snagged it. I couldn't do it during a week because driving to Atlantic City and back, I was like, I can't do it
That's
in a
a
week.
lot.
I saw
That's a
Saturday,
lot, yeah.
so I thought it was the next Saturday, and then the email came in and said 2 Saturdays. I'm like, son of a gun. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm getting it in 2 weeks.
That's
for
how you
you.
look at it. Yeah.
I've been trying to do the same thing.
Yeah.
But yes, I think all of us want,
Yeah.
COVID shot.
And I just my parents got
Yeah.
it. And I was just,
Good.
that's all I really wanted.
Good.
Right.
I can live without it,
Right.
but I want my parents to.
No,
They're in their
amen to that.
70s.
Amen.
So I can live without it. I can. I don't mind. But I don't want to. I'm teaching kids. I want, like you said, we want it. Like, but do you understand? I know there's people out there that don't care, don't want it. Like, I don't get that. Like a flu shot helps. I haven't had the flu in 10 years because I take flu shot every year.
Yes.
So it helps you. You can still get it.
True.
You can still get it, but you might not die from it.
Exactly.
And to bring out Brian's point about trying to have some fun.
That's the point. That's the point.
Mask for a second. Show the mask for a second.
Okay.
At least you're trying to have some fun with this. Is that
Yeah.
like the logo from Wagner University or something?
I thought you were
no,
going to do a hang on to your shorts.
This is the Pinelands Regional.
Oh, that's
Pinelands-
that's what we said.
I'm stupid.
Wildcats.
I thought it was some panties.
Ouch.
Wow.
Wow. Joe just went down the gutter.
Downhill really
Thank
fast.
you so much.
And on that note,
It
Really,
looked like
a
it.
perfect note to go out on, right?
yes, not. You know what? Normally what we do is we shout out a lot of the sponsors and everything. We have a lot of people that we need to shout out. Our flagship sponsors, obviously, I think they're called the Smith Group with Brick Wall and Porta,
Mhm.
and and there's so many other places, Investor Savings.
Pascal Sabine.
Yes, Pascal Sabine. A lot of
I
people.
just want
They're all hurting right
I
now,
just
so
wanted
go.
to chime
Oh,
on a brick wall on the brick wall front.
Oh, please
so
do.
Right now they are closed down, but I'm looking forward to touching base with Patrick, who was manager that we last did our actually the last outside podcast that we did was at Brick Wall probably a little over a year ago this month.
yeah. We tried to do Icarus, but
And it was at Brick
happened.
Wall.
Right.
Yeah, and then we were contacting Nick first, and we were supposed to do a podcast with them. But our last
Yeah.
outdoor podcast, or outside of the studio podcast, was at Brick Wall. They are temporarily closed, unfortunately.
Yeah. are.
And Patrick, I believe, is working over at Pascal and Sabine. Pascal and Sabine is still open, so is Porta.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's so much indoor dining. They're probably selective indoor dining. But
Yeah.
No, it's 35%
we did
now.
unfortunately-
35% now.
But it's
We
still
did-
selective. It's still select. I mean, it's still smaller. That's all.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I'm just like, thank God it's 35% now because they were dying. They needed that. They really did,
Good point.
especially these
Yeah, we
cold.
did lose vintage subs. Unfortunately, they're gone. I'm going to reach out to Nick at some point in time, Nick of the owner of Vintage Subs, and find out
Is
if
it
he's got
closed
another
down?
sub
Is it
somewhere else. Yeah. No, there was a sign on his door saying turnkey operation. So he's. Yeah, I think
Sorry to
he
hear
bottomed out, unfortunately. It kind of
Good.
sucks 'cause he was a good guy and a great supporter ours. But the Vintage Subs, unfortunately, I have to find out if they're somewhere else at some point,
Yeah.
if he's still in the business. But Pascal and Sabine and Porta are still, open for business. So we'll throw them some business when we can.
Yeah.
And
Check it out.
and I'll have to go over and maybe meet with Patrick and see what he has to say about they can't sponsor us this year. I want to send the love because they've been with us since the very beginning.
Absolutely.
And yes, we do have a few other people who have sponsored us over here, Bog Joint, which is still open over in Asbury Park, and a few other Investor Savings, I think Hiram said, and a few other sponsors that have been helpful years. You guys.
Well-
So, do we have any updates on what's going on for the people out there?
No, I think we will be speaking about all of that as a group, and obviously disseminating the information
Right.
as soon as we have it. I think for today, we obviously have to thank above all, Mr. Michael Broderick,
Mhm.
who took the time to join us, and
Yeah,
that was a fun
Yeah.
interview.
it was a great interview, guys. Great interview. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
It was
Thank you
fantastic.
very much.
And
Appreciate it.
a Shared Universe Podcast Studios, who never lets us down. I can't wait to podcast with you
Never.
in other spots.
Oh, speaking. Can I say
Yeah,
right now?
no worries.
Absolutely.
Speaking of other spots, I'm going to do shameless self-promoting. I apologize.
Mm.
Coming up on the A Game with Rob Back-and-Forth. Yeah, coming up this Sunday, 11 a.m.
Sunday.
Eastern. Yeah, it'll be a roundtable about the upcoming award season. So we're going to start with the Golden Globes.
I don't even know what.
Well,
the movies.
well,
I haven't seen any of them.
this
I
is
don't know.
why. This is why I needed to bring in an expert. And
Who's the
he'll-
expert?
the expert is in his bunker in Pennsylvania. Dante himself, Brian O'Halloran, will be my guest,
That is
and
awesome.
we will talk about that. Then
Oh,
Wednesday,
nice.
yes. So we got a little thing with that. Wednesday, the 24th, coming up. If you are a wrestling fan, do not miss this. The
What's it?
20-time tag team champion, WWE Hall of Famer. If you remember the Dudley Boys, Bubba Ray Dudley, now known as Billy Ray, who's got a great radio show, by the way, on Sirius XM.
Oh.
Yeah, he talks. He's really good. He's actually like a great analyst.
All the old wrestlers that are like done and retire are fun. They're fun to hang
and he's great. No, Bubba Ray he's a great guy, and I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I just got confirmation it'll probably coming up next month. If you guys were fans of Star Trek, okay, so remember nobody's here. Is anybody here a Trekkie?
You know what I did? I lived with these guys when we watched the Deep Space Nine. So I did like that one actually.
Okay, so go back to Star Trek Voyager. Very talented actor who also and when this happens, this will be my 4th alumni of All My Children. I might as well just become the unofficial All My Children podcast, which I love.
This dude,
which is great. Yeah,
All My Children podcast. Yeah, see where everyone's at.
You know what? The good thing about this is when Pine Valley comes on ABC, don't be surprised if all of a sudden I have Bill Timoney, who played Alfred Vanderpool. I can have Liz Vassy come back, Emily Ann Sabo. And then my next guest is Robert Duncan McNeil, who was also on All My Children. And he's got this little project that he's promoting. I don't know if you guys have seen this on Sci-Fi Channel, Resident Alien.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, you loving that?
I love that show.
He is
hysterical. It's well done. It's good.
He is the director and executive producer of the show. So yeah, I'm looking forward to talk to him about that. I mean, the show looks phenomenal.
Tell him I said I love it.
I absolutely will say that.
I've seen it. I want to see it.
The main actor who was in
Alan Tudyk.
A bunch of movies.
Yeah, as a matter of fact,
Dodgeball.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's going to be that because I'll bring that up with Robert because I'm literally going to take a photo of Pirate Steve because that's really that's sort of the cool classic figure of Alan Tudyk. Although he's done a lot of work,
he does a lot.
Yeah, but that's the defining character of his career.
Pirate Steve.
Peter.
But he's really solid on the show, and he makes the show. It's a very interesting, strange but fun show. I enjoy it.
I'm really looking forward to talking to Robert about this. I mean, like I said, the guests are getting really interesting. I'm really excited.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's definitely a blast. Yeah.
If you guys go back on, I think I shared it on Hanging in Your Shorts, and we had a little video the other day. So check that out on our page. A little reaction. Nice. If you won an award and you videotaped it and you have a reaction, send it to us. We will put it up. Definitely want to add to that. So I'm sure plenty of you did it last year when you won. You had a video of your reactions, and so please send them in. Send them to I guess whatever email's on there. Send it, and we'll put it on our webpage and Facebook because Amir Arison did it from the Blacklist because he did he directed that the little girl wrote.
Yes, that was great.
And they're making a documentary right now. So if you look on our page, there's a place where you could donate. It's almost like Make-A-Wish Foundation, but it's like Make a Film kind of thing.
Okay.
But there is Make a Film Foundation. It's different. This is a different one, but they are making a documentary for this girl, and she had cancer. So young kids with cancer, and they make their wishes come true, and they be able to they'll take what they wrote, or they get to direct or act or things like that. So it's a very passion project for Amir, and I just want to put it out there. If you have some extra money to donate, it's a great thing to donate to. And when he's done, even though it might be a feature, maybe we can have a screening of it or something because he's been so supportive of our festival.
That'd be wonderful.
And you can see our interview. We did an interview a couple of weeks ago on Cullen on Film. It's me and Amir. I was
about to say you had to bring that up. I mean, you can also find that through a shared universe. Cullen on Film is one of the many podcasts that you're finding through a shared universe, like this one that you're watching right now.
Excellent.
Have we plugged everything we can plug?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
Shared universe. Sign up. Do a podcast here in the studio.
That's what I was about to say. If you ever thought about doing a podcast,
especially
you can go. But anything. I mean, that's the great thing. They've got so many podcasts that are ranging the gamut. Find their website. Find out. You're not going to spend an arm and a leg to do a podcast. That's the good thing. And you're going to learn a lot. So have some fun with it. Find out more about it. And
take a class. You can take a class if you don't know, if you're worried.
This is true. This is a very good point.
So you go on the website, shareduniverse.com. You can take a class. You can learn the production. Absolutely. And you can do some podcasts, have a lot of fun. A lot of people have come through here from our festival, by the way.
Yeah.
From Hanging on Your Shorts. They have been on, and then they started their own podcast.
That's
Dr.
funny.
Dr. Barbara's killing it with all the
that?
podcasts.
How about that?
And so many more.
Was KP on before we started hanging out with him, or was he already doing a podcast?
KP didn't do it through us, but we just randomly knew.
Right, but KP was sort of influenced. That's where you're putting it.
Yes.
Wow.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us tonight. And
hold on.
The latest episode.
Brian was saying something. Sorry. No, Brian, what were you saying real quick before we wrap up?
Well, I got kicked off a couple of times, so I just want to chime in. Again, I want to thank you guys for being in the studio. I want to thank Ming and a shared universe. And I heard everything about, come on down and do a podcast. And there's a few locations, Bellworks and the studio there in Eatontown. And
if you haven't been to Bellworks, check it out.
Yeah.
It's fun.
It was very cool. Look, very cool.
I'm
And
gonna go with me.
Go get
you guys. We will be in touch.
Yep, we'll definitely be in touch. And one more thing to add with the podcast: if you are still a little sensitive about coming out, you can do it remotely from your own home.
Yeah, we do a lot of them. We do a lot of them remotely.
I did. I literally, I've only gotten back in the studio maybe the last month and a half.
Well, the thing is, with our shows, we talk to people from LA, all over the place. They can't come here,
right? Exactly.
So the one good thing about COVID was we'd be able to do that.
Now, Ming was sick and tired of seeing my map of New Jersey behind me all this time. He's like, glad to have you back. I'm like, it's good to be here.
If you can come up with any good thing about all this, it's us being able to interview people from all over the world.
That's a very good point. Absolutely. So, will we do another episode before the festival?
Oh, absolutely. We will probably do at least 2.
Cool.
At least 2, because there's a lot of information that we have to disseminate, and there's a couple of other people that we want to bring in. So, absolutely.
I think we should have a show where we announce the nominees.
That's a very good idea. Once again, our thanks to Michael Broderick, who was an outstanding guest tonight. And if you haven't seen that season 3 of True Detectives, check it out. It's on HBO On Demand, by the way.
His voice is like he should be here with you, like doing a voice contest.
I think he wins. I'm sorry. I think he wins.
When he first heard his voice, didn't you look? I saw Hiram. You looked like, holy crap, his voice.
Yeah.
He's got it.
I saw it right away. We're going to hear his voice. I was like, that's the voice. There's that radio voice.
That's my job.
All right, guys.
Until next time, this is Hang On To Your Shorts Film Festival. Look for the details at our website, hangontoyourshortsfilmfestival.com. We'll see you again soon.